Welcome to FanDuel First Look Week 10 Maximum Potential Rankings. So basically what I thought would do something a little different this week. I want to try to start focusing more game theory when I do my videos. That way, instead of the videos only being good for 1 week, they can be referenced all throughout the year. So we'll focus more on theory, and then, of course, with me being new to my channel, once I get more viewers, then we'll look into just putting out all of my rankings for everybody. So for right now, man, we're going to do it like it's the first time we looked at the slate, because it is for me. So I'm just going to give you my opinions. We'll walk through some things, look at some stack potentials. I got the lines pulled up. I have my rankings as well. And, of course, ownership. That's the reason why I didn't do this yesterday. I wanted to get a better look at our ownership. So let's jump right in and see what we got. All right, so let's go to quarterbacks. Off the top, we got Josh Allen. We don't know what that's going to be the case with that. I don't know. I mean, I guess if Josh Allen's healthy, you play him, right? How do you not? But it's definitely a spot that could be volatile. If it's not Allen, then we're going to Case Keenum, I believe, is the backup. Let's see. Let's check his price just for shits and giggles. See where he's at and what we can do with him. I mean, this game, let's see. What's the total in this game? Minnesota, you got a 43 total. It's not bad, not exactly. I'm assuming that total is assuming that Josh Allen is not playing, because I think it would be near closer to 48 maybe, because Minnesota's not really great on defense. Yeah, that makes me like it even less, honestly. But we got, let's check out my boy real quick. Case Keenum, 6,100 on FanDuel. Could be better, could be worse. I mean, I played Ellinger when he was dirt cheap, and that didn't go too great. But, I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, it could be a good move. I don't know how popular it'll be. Of course, you got great stacking options. Nobody's afraid of Minnesota's defense. Excellent run backs on the Minnesota side. So it's something we'll look into as the week goes on and see what we can do with it. Expensive quarterbacks other than Josh Allen. We got Mahomes at 85 against Jacksonville. I love stacking that game. I think that could be really good. Trevor Lawrence has got his shit together, man. I'm really starting to like what he's doing. He looks good. He looks real poised in the pocket, confident. He's going through his progressions, man. I think he's going to be a great player when it's all said and done. And Jacksonville's got the right coach, and they're definitely heading in the right direction with their whole team. Let's check the total on that one. We got the Kansas City Jackson, 49. All right, that's more like it. Kansas City favored by 10. I'm using the ESPN lines because I just wanted something I could pull up quick that we could use for reference. Yeah, you got to like that matchup. The Chiefs defense is actually pretty good in my opinion. But, Jacksonville they're gonna have to put up points if they want to stay in the game. They're gonna have to throw the ball out, right? We know that. ATN is efficient out of the backfield. We could always go that route on a run back. But yeah, we're definitely playing some Chiefs. When are we not, right? So we got Mahomes. All right, let's check something real quick. This is what I was worried about. So all right, let's say we play Mahomes and we go with a Chiefs stack, right? We gotta be able to afford Kelsey. You know what? I got something I like here. I don't know what's up. I heard something about Hardman getting hurt the other day. But I would love to run this stack with Kelsey. I'm going to plug him in. And then go into Hardman. If you notice the last couple games, Hardman's kind of taking on the Tyreek Hill role. They're drawing up a lot of plays specifically for him. And the thing that I love most, in the red zone, the guy is getting crazy looks. They're handing the ball off to him. They're doing that little shovel pass shit they like to do. They're running them in motion and then shooting them out in the flats real quick. And then, when you got Mahomes that you gotta stay at home. You gotta respect Mahomes in his run game. That opens up a lot. So, and also that'll be a way, I'm going to pull Hartman up real quick and check his price. That'll be a great way to get some of that salary savings back from where you're stacking Mahomes and Kelsey. So I think that's one direction I might go in. Yeah, he's questionable right now, so we'll see. And when are they going to get Kadarius Toney involved, man? That dude is a dog. When I tell you he can ball, he can ball. When they get him implemented in this lineup, he will eat. True indeed. It's going to make it a lot harder. It's like Russian roulette picking through these receivers, but we might not even see any more MVS if Toney does what I think he's capable of doing. So, yeah, we got Hardman questionable, but I'd like to do that. He's only 6 flat. The only thing I don't like about FanDuel pricing is it seems like the more touchdowns they score, the higher their pricing gets, and it doesn't really seem like their algorithm is based around a lot more than points, and I could be wrong, but it just feels that way because you'll see guys, especially on the college slates, they'll jump up just from a couple touchdowns, and you'll be able to take advantage of that with other receivers that maybe don't look as well fantasy point wise, but the volume's there, the efficiency's there, so that's things you look to take advantage of. And that's one of the great things that my tool does. It pulls those guys up and brings them to the forefront so that you can see a player's maximum potential. Yeah, so I like that stack. There's a million ways you can go with Kansas City. I also like maybe trying to implicate a little bit of the run game in there. Of course, there's only really one guy that's really got that explosive breakaway that you want. I'm not a big fan of Edwards-Helaire, never have been. But this Pacheco kid, man, I'm interested in him. Doesn't seem like they're really getting, obviously on the Kansas City team, the running back is going to be rotated, and not also that, but they won't get a good volume. But the way they do it, these trick plays and add all these little nuances to their playbook, there's just so many ways you can capitalize. That's why I like trying to squeeze some of the Kansas City guys in for value on other high stacks as well. So, yeah, I'm really considering going that route as long as Hardman plays. I really like that Hardman-Kelsey stack with Mahomes. So I'll be looking to get some of that. Let's get back out of here and go back to the quarterback list. While we're doing this, let's pull up some ownership on quarterbacks just so we have an idea of what we're doing here. No, not team. That's dumb. You want position. All right, let's see what we got. We'll pull our quarterbacks up. Mahomes, right off the rip, figure that. It's coming in at 19.2% right now. Look who's second. My boy, Justin Fields. The hype is real. So this is crazy. So what I like to do is after I get my lineups done, I like to do like an overall canvas where I just go through and see if there's anything I don't have enough of or too much of. And a lot of times what I'll do, if I feel like I don't have enough of a player in my portfolio, I'll run some single entries and jam them in there that way, kind of to hedge my volume, so to speak, tickets. Or, your 150 max if you're into that thing, or 20 max, or whatever you can afford to do or like to do. So anyway, like I was saying, I really didn't feel like I had enough Justin Fields, and a couple guys that I really respect in the industry were talking them up. And so I was like, well, shit, I'll run a single entry for decent money, and I'll run it with Fields. So what I did to be intricate, I really thought that I pat myself on the back for this, but it was kind of a no-brainer. So I ran Justin Fields. I was torn whether to single or no stack at all. So I did both. Mainly went with a single stack with Mooney, which worked out all right. I think he got me like 11, which is more than you expect to get from any Bears wide receiver, player for that matter, the way their offense was. But they're coming around. So I ran Justin Fields and single stack with Mooney, and I ran back the duo from Miami, which was Hill and Waddle. And it worked good because I stuck Devontae Adams in there. But, of course, didn't have Joe Mixon, so I'm sure he ruined a lot of people's days if you weren't high on him, which I unfortunately wasn't. There was so many good running backs, solid plays that you just knew were going to get you there. Good value, you knew was going to get you there. So I kind of, Mixon just kind of got, swept under the rug accidentally, and that fucking sucked. All right, so Justin Fields is coming in second ownership. Of course, he's got the Lions. Everyone's on Justin Fields right now. I think that can help us with a couple other guys, like Tua, for example. His ownership's not where I think it would be if everybody wasn't on Mahomes and Fields. He's coming in at 8.4% now. We got Justin Fields at 13.4%. After that, you got Josh Allen at 6.2%, which, of course, that'll go up or down, barring injury news on him. And then after that, everyone starts to get around the 5% range. Kyler Murray, what do you do with him? Stafford. A lot of people are talking about Stafford this week going against the Cardinals. I mean, they're the Cardinals as a team, man. You just never know what you're going to get with them. They ball out a little bit, and then you're like, okay, Hopkins is back. The offense is, they're starting to gel back into their original form. And then next thing you know, they have a shit of a performance like they did against Seattle. So that Seattle defense has really turned itself around, man. Those young guys are really coming together. I got to take my hat off to their staff for really getting some good draft picks in there to booster their defense. I like it. So let's go back to the salary. See what else we got at QB. Well, I want to try to find some value too also once we're done skimming through these top guys. So yeah, 2 against Cleveland. It's playable, depending on how you feel about Cleveland's defense. I mean, how do you not play Tua? I mean, you know where the targets are going. They're all going to 2 people. Like, it's just too easy. It's too solid. Like, the solidarity that you get with that, it enables you to do other things in your roster where where that volume's going, and you can count on that to be the foundation of your point scored. All right, so Kyler Murray, I don't know what to do with him. Supposedly he's got a hamstring thing going on. Don't know if the inconsistency, man, on that whole team. I don't know how Kingsbury still has a job, but won't be for long. Daniel Jones, oh no, I could work with this. Sucks as far as stacking, man. Like, who do you stack with Daniel Jones? But he's got Houston. He runs the ball now, which is great. You get that rushing upside. That helps your floor a lot. I like it, man. So, all right, here's something you might want to consider. Can we stack him with Barkley since he actually catches balls out of the backfield? Let's see. I kind of like that. Barkley's expensive. Let's see. Where was Daniel Jones' ownership? 4.6%. I love it. Trevor Lawrence comes in at 5. I like that too. I love it. I love the Daniel Jones. Yeah, I think that's what you do, man. I think you shoot Barkley in there. Let's look at his receptions on the year real quick. Yep. Targets 5, 4, 3, 6. Hell yeah, works for me. All right, so we'll do that, and then all we gotta do now is get another receiver. Throw him in here. Giants receivers. This is where shit gets ugly. Slayton. He's been coming along. Where has he been? Like, I thought the guy would be a solid number 2 all year. Then he disappears and he comes back and catches some touchdowns. And it seems like the whole team's got to be hurt for him to play. Kenny Galladay is back at practice. He looked good. I watch him run some routes. He's coming along. I wouldn't be surprised if Galladay plays. If he does play, that might be where I go. Let's pull up the NPR and see what my tools are telling me. Okay, that's not it. Go here. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pull up the Giants, see how they favor in my tools. So, Barkley, of course, looks good. Looks a little overowned in my opinion, but I mean, you got to play him. Especially if we're going with the strategy we're going with now. So, alright, so he's coming in at 18% owned. We got Robinson, looks good. Slayton looks decent. Really, the only one maximum potential rankings that I can see even viable would be Wan'Dale Robinson. He's only 3.6% owned, so that's probably what I would do there. Yeah, so maybe I'll try a little bit of that. I'll throw some Wan'Dale in there. Wan'Dale, I don't know what it is. Kenny Galladay, if he plays, he's 5 flat. It's only $600 cheaper than Robinson, $800 cheaper than Slayton, but it's an option, man. That could be a sneaky play, so we'll wait and see on that and see what the Giants got going on and what their plans are for the wide receiving core this week, which seems like every week another guy is squeezing into the rotation somehow. All right, so yeah. You got Dak against Green Bay. What do we say about Green Bay this year, man? So many teams let us down. Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Arizona even. There's another one. Rams. These are all teams that we originally had going to the playoffs, and they're all trash. You can play Dak against Green Bay. Their secondary is solid. Not the best stacking options unless maybe you add OBJ to that, which I hope not. As an Eagles fan, I don't want to see it, but I'd rather him go to Dallas than us pick him up so he doesn't go to Dallas and then having OBJ like 2 catches, 37 yards every week. No, I'm not trying to pay for that nor give up the spot. I think Quez Watkins is very underrated because of how he stretches the field on the Eagles, and he's explosive, and he's that one-hitter quitter, man. I can get you one for 82 and a tutty. You got Kirk Cousins in the Buffalo matchup. I don't know what to do with that. Derek Carr against Indy. I skipped right over Jared Goff. I'm sorry. It's just hard for me to get there. But with that being said, I don't know because Chicago's defense, man, jeez, they just got lit up last week. And, I mean, yeah, it's hard to do, especially with Hawkinson going. Like, if you're going on a double stack, like, who do you put him with? Like, Swift, what the hell's going on with him now, you know? And then no Hawkinson. So it's like, I don't know how Amon-Ra St. Brown in the last couple. Well, he got hurt and then came back last week, was quiet. Didn't see that coming. I guess you could consider going with Goff. Brissett against Miami, I kind of like that. Some things you can do with there. You got, especially if my boy, if Njoku comes back, I like that stack. I love it. I don't love it. It's the Browns, but I could see it being playable. I'm trying to find Njoku's questionable with an ankle. All right, yeah, man. If Njoku plays, I think there's multiple ways you can go with that stack. If he doesn't, I'm still okay with doing like a Donovan Peoples-Jones and Cooper. But I'd rather go Cooper and Njoku just because Njoku's finally getting the work that he deserves, man. They had Hooper there for so long and they were splitting them and just doing so much. He never really got a chance to show his true potential, which I feel like starting to come to the forefront now that he's getting the load. Let's see. Any other quarterbacks we want to talk about before we skip? Derek Carr against Indy. Yeah, I guess. Like, Indy's a dumpster fire right now, but what has Derek Carr really shown us? He's another disappointment, man. I really thought, we all did, I guess, thought Oakland was going to be much, much improved this year. Like I said, I like the Trevor Lawrence move. You know, it's Kansas City, so he's going to have to throw the ball 50 times. And he was already throwing a lot as it was, if I'm not mistaken. And you can go with Etienne out of the backfield. He catches plenty of balls. So if you wanted to do like an Etienne, Kirk, you want to be careful. I'm bringing up a lot of stacks with running backs. And, of course, that can be counterproductive because, you know, if the running back runs in 3 touchdowns and the quarterback didn't do shit, he can get robbed that way. But, you know, when you got those pass catching backs, sometimes it allows you to get different and make different variations of lineups that other people aren't getting to, especially when they're crunching. Never. I will not play Russ. I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to Jameis at some point, rather. Even if it's in-game, like, don't look really bad last week. Malik Willis. You got Aaron Rodgers playing Dallas. He's questionable with a thumb and he's cheap as hell. Man, I mean, like, really can't do nothing with him, man. The stacks are ugly. Like, his performance is ugly. And then you got Dallas bringing that pressure. Parsons around the edge wreaking havoc. The guy can't run. Like, I don't like it. Kind of a low option week for quarterbacks, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I just want to get like my best 3 or 5 and just pump them. And then other weeks, like last week, I feel like you can go a lot of different places and really spread out your variations and whatnot. All right, going to running back. Saquon at the top, 9,500. Derrick Henry, 94 right behind. Nick Chubb's at 9 flat. Finally, Nick Chubb's is not the most expensive running back on the FanDuel slate. All these guys are dogs. You got Kamara after that coming in at 8.6. They're all viable. Josh Jacobs, flip a coin. He might get 3 touchdowns. He might get 3 yards. Nah, I don't think you should get away from Josh Jacobs just because he had one quiet performance. He's definitely getting the volume, you know. Colts don't scare you. His car's been inefficient, so maybe they just try to pound their way out of a win. Love ATN. He's at 8. He's getting higher and higher. They're catching on. FanDuel's catching on to the ATN show, which they should have done weeks ago. Excuse me. Alright, got Dameon Pierce questionable. That Giants defense is tough, man. I don't know how I feel about that. Dalvin Cook's kind of gone under the radar all year. Tony Pollard at 7 flat against Green Bay. Of course, Zeke doesn't play, man. You just go right back to Pollard, man. That's still not enough. He's still not expensive enough. I love it. Let's shoot over ownership and see what we're getting on these guys. Running backs. Dameon Pierce, wow, 19%. He's 7,700. I get it. I mean, kind of. Aaron Jones, 18.9%. Josh Jacobs, 18.5. Okay, so it's looking like a salary thing as far as ownership. Looks like everybody's kind of getting down to that low 8, high 7 range instead of paying up for Barkley, Henry, and them. So that could be good. Oh, if Jonathan Taylor plays, if JT goes this week, he's 7,000 flat. Like, that is enticing. I wanted to be on him last week. He was cheaper. He was like 6 something. but then I ended up having to get off that because he didn't play. Played a lot of Deion Jackson, hoping he would work out for me like he did last time, and he did not. He was $5 grand flat. How do you not use that as a salary saver in at least some of your lineups? All right, so I kind of misspoke on the whole Barkley Henry thing because they're still coming in at 18 and 17% approximately. So they're right there. It looks like we got so we got Pierce, Jones, Jacobs, Barkley, Henry, ATN all coming in at over 15% owned. And the scale just continues to drop a little bit after that. JT 14, Cook 14, Kamara 14. So, I mean, all the running backs are kind of mashed into one ownership tier. But if you can get out of that tier, you might be able to strike gold. Let's see who we got down there. Look, you got Tony Pollard at 5%. I'm assuming that's because we don't know what Zeke's going to do. Nick Chubb, 4.5. Like, how do you not just pay up for Chubbs at 4.5% against a Miami defense that has done what? Cleveland might knock them off, man. I hate to say it, but it might happen. Anybody else we got low? Swift, of course. Kareem Hunt, of course. Pacheco, there's my boy, 3.9. I'm going to work with that. I'm going to find a way to implicate that into some things. Maybe like some Jacksonville runbacks even. I don't know. It's hard, man. They just don't run the ball enough. Yeah, man. So, as far as under 5% owned, which is what you want to look for sometimes, gotta love Nick Chubb, man. Got to. And, of course, that 7% Pollard. 5% Pollard, which I think will go up in the days to follow. Let's see. I want to do something real quick. Let's go to my rankings. Let's see what our best value is going to be with running backs. I'm interested to see what kind of money we can save in here. Okay. So Pierce is the first one under 8. Got Montgomery and Najee Harris. Look good, surprisingly enough. You can't play Najee. I can't play Najee. Not at this point. I don't know what they're trying to do with that running game. Or they're not trying to do anything because they can't run the fucking ball. Poor Pittsburgh, man. What a year. But, hey, that Kenny Pickett kid, man, I like him. I think he'll be something. We got Devin Singletary, 5,600. I like that, especially with the backup in. They'll probably lean on the run more-ish. Never know with Buffalo. See, this is the thing. I have no idea how much Buffalo is going to change their strategy or play the same way as they do and just plug in the backup. Like, the kid's competent. Like Case Keenum, he was in the MVP running like 4 years ago or some shit. Like the guy's competent, man. Like I feel like it's a plug and play, and they just keep rolling with the offense. But if they don't, look for a lot of Singletary. At that price, I mean, you really can't go wrong. 5,600. Connor at 6,300 looks good on the tools. Yeah. I actually have Wilson a little higher than most there this week, which is intriguing. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that more, dive into some numbers. But so that's where we're at running back right now. It's early in the week. Once we get these injuries in, it'll help solidify a lot of what we're trying to do and which positions we want to lean into. So wide receiver, like, okay, so a lot of that's going to correlate with your stacks, right? Especially if you run double stacks like I do most of the time. So it's basically going to depend on who you're running at QB. I know we talked about some of our options. But we can skim through some real quick. You got Cup at 9,200, Stephon Diggs at 91, Tariq at 9 flat. Those are your top three. They all got decent matchups. We'll see with the Buffalo thing. Man, I got Justin Jefferson at like 9% last week, and I just went crazy with that. Let's go to the ownership. See what we got going on. See if we can find some gems. All right. So, of course, Cup, Tyreek at the top. So let's see where we get Jefferson at this week. Diggs is only coming in at 10%. Okay, so we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers coming in at 15% or better. Amon-Ra St. Brown, which we talked about. Devontae Adams, which is everyone's chasing now because of last week. Don't forget how inefficient that team has been, man. I've been kind of like playing Devontae Adams depending on how ownership is. Ownership's high, I get off of him. And when he's low, like last week, I just try. I don't cram him in, but I try to get more because the guy's a baller, man. It's just all about that offense, and if Carr can be the guy to get it done, it's crazy to think back how the Raiders' offense was better last year without Adams than it is now. And other than that, they're predominantly the same. I'm not sure about linemen and all that, but for the most part, at least in the skills department, they're about the same other than Adams. What was it, like an Adams for Zay Jones swap out? Come on, man. What are they doing? All right, let's check these wide receivers for some good low ownership and also some good value. Jefferson's coming in at 13%. I was hoping I'd get him lower, but that was a pipe dream. Let's see who we got. Waddle's not bad at 8%. I can live with that. Other than that, man, it's pretty much the top guys are at the top. And then it just trickles down slowly from 10, 9, 8%. Let's check for value. I want to go check the tools and see what cheap guys are popping. Okay. Maximum potential rankings. Wide receivers. And it looks like the cheapest guy I have is Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's in my top 10. He's high owned. Everyone's going to be there. Christian Kirk at 6,800. He's looking like he has a little bit of leverage with him. I don't know. Debo, the return of Debo, 7,300. But he's not on the main slate. That sucks. Okay, we got Mooney, Pittman, and Jared Judy all ranking about the same on here. It's looking like the least owned is going to be Jared Judy, which I don't want no parts of Denver. I don't know about you. Pittman, I don't want no parts of the Colts quarterback bullshit. Mooney, I could play. I think that, man, so right now we got Mooney in at 3.4%. I think that goes a lot higher just because of all the people that are getting on the Justin Fields train right about now. I do like Olave at 2.7%. Value's not great, but he's a stud, man. The guy can ball. DeAndre Hopkins, like I said, what do you do with the Cardinals? Devontae Smith is prime time as well. So, it looks like it's about it, man. So, okay, at first glance, first look at everything, looks like there's a lot of stability as far as ownership. Looks like a pretty balanced slate. I think there's going to be a lot less quarterbacks played than there was last week. So maybe if you find a couple contrarian quarterbacks that you like, that could be a move. Because that's going to lead you down a whole different path, right? You got your quarterback and then you add your stacks. And if that's different, then it just leads up a whole different value as far as the rest of your plays, and could end up with a ticket that's not, could be highly efficient, but at the same time lack the ownership, which obviously you want. So, hope you guys enjoy this video. Tomorrow, we'll try to get into some stack theories, maybe some game theories, and see where we go from there. But I hope you enjoy the video. Comment if you have any ideas, anything you think we can work on or talk about. If you want any of my rankings, that's fine. Hit me up. I got you. I'll share all information with you guys, man. Let's work together and get this money and beat them pros. All right, this is Count Up, signing off. Peace.